up is Tayo, and he's going to take us for the next 45 minutes on understanding your target market. Are you ready, Tayo?
Yes, I am. Although I don't know that I need 45 minutes after all of this work that Napa has already done. But yeah, let me get my screen up. No, let me make sure I share it from the start. I don't want to give you guys expo. Okay. There you go. Let me switch to. Yep. All right. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
One of the problems with Google Meet is that you can't see you can't see everybody while you're sharing your screen. Although I see that they released the new feature, but I don't seem to have it yet. Has anyone seen that feature where on Google Meet where if you share your screen, you now get a pop-up to see everyone else? Anyone? No. Okay.
Papa says yes.
Yes.
You guys have got. Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. So the other time when Napa was talking about the reason why generating revenue is good or is necessary, she didn't talk about the good old village people. Like if you're building a business, I think that of course you want to make money for yourself, but you also want to show village people that you're doing well. And then there's also, I don't know, there's a musician that Nigerians have been complaining about recently. I'm not sure what it did to them, but you also want to escape that guy. So it's important for you to generate revenue. The way you generate revenue is by people agreeing with you that your product or service solves a problem for them and paying you for it. But before you find people who will pay you for it and who will agree with you on that point, you have to first of all find people to talk to about your business, who you believe have a need. Before they confirm it, you have to find them, right? And so that is essentially finding your market. People in technology will say we're all on a journey of product market fit, right? And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, how you essentially understand your target market. My name is Tayo. Some of you know me. I've seen a few familiar faces here. For those who don't know me, I am the founder at Tribe Consulting. We are a go-to-market company for pretty much, used to be only technology, but now we're doing pretty much everything. Before Tribe, I worked at companies like TileStack as head of revenue strategy. I worked at ULesson Education as VP of sales and general manager. I worked at Seamless HR as head of business development and partnerships across Africa. And a bunch of other places. That's not why we're here. So welcome everyone. We will jump right into the agenda for this module. So it's essentially, first of all, defining your ideal customer profile, the techniques for segmenting your market and creating customer personas, creating and using customer personas. Did everyone get and complete the pre-work?
Yes, I've gotten Israel's pre-work. I'm yet to receive from others.
Okay, maybe they've just not sent it, but did everyone do the pre-work?
Oh yes, I did. I didn't know I was supposed to send it. Well, I did it. I will.
Okay, is there anyone that didn't do it?
I didn't do it. I registered late. I'm not even sure there is supposed to be a pre-work or anything like that. So, sorry.
Got it. Anyone else?
I'm still working on mine because I signed up from work very late. So I just started this morning.
Okay. We'll jump into it and then you can, the reason I'm asking is that it can help me understand if I ask a question and you're not answering, it can help me understand why. And then I can help like provide more context. Okay, so ICP, we've heard it. This word is used quite a bit for the people in sales today. If you're not in sales, it means ideal customer profile. It means that when you sleep and wake up and you dream of somebody coming to buy all of the stuff that you have, or even buy your company because they love your product so much, what does that person look like in your dream? Like, what is the ideal customer? What is Mr. or Mrs. Right for your business? And there are very many, reasons why this is important, but this is what it means. Essentially, is like, what does that customer look like that that my product serves the most, like it does everything for them, and so they will have no choice but to pay me, right? Does anyone that has done the pre-work, at the end of it, did you get a different ICP than what you started with? Anyone that completed it can just come off mute and answer.
So far so good. I think it's still the same. I'm
Okay.
yet to see if there will be deviations along the line.
Okay, anyone else? Did you at least get more clarity on, even though it was the same person, did you have to answer any questions that caused you to think of that customer in ways that you had previously not?
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
me. It helped me think of my customers in ways I had not. Yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
realized,
That was the purpose of it. Please go ahead, Asheri.
so I realized that what I had was not properly streamlined. Was more generic than I thought. So after completing it, this was very specific. So this was what I wish someone had handed to me, and it would have made my job easier.
All right, that's great to hear. And so I hope that by the end of today, we would have made your job even far more easier than we already are. So yeah, let's go into the house. Because I didn't want us to complicate this slide. We have two ways of sort of market segmentation. I have a slightly different screen here, and I'm going to just read out some of the other ways. So firmographic is essentially B2B. Think of the company, the industry. So if you're a B2B business, this is very clear. But there are very many ways that you can segment your market or your customer base. You can do it. There's demographic information that you can use. So demographic segmentation is maybe the most popular one, right? There's also, what's that one that generational? Yeah. So when you say baby boomers, generation this, and millennials, that's another way of segmenting, and you can do this based on what your product is and what your service is and who your target is within even this demo. If you take a demographic, like, you can break it down further. You can use technology, like sometimes, and even if you use a tool like Apollo, sometimes you might see information about companies' tech stacks, right? You can see information about like rates of adoption of technology generally. So are these people early adopters of technology? Are they the late majority? Are they iOS users or Android users? Those in marketing will tell you, let me not cause any fight here, but those in marketing will tell you that they prefer some people than other people when it comes to type of device. And this is data that they have over the years. You can also see things, behavioral is purchasing habits, right? One of the things that you see in Africa generally, but mostly in Nigeria, that you don't see, that happens differently in the West if you do B2C, is that you get a lot more sales at the end of the month, than at any point. So salary week, right? So those are some of the things that you also have to consider as you sell. Can anyone tell us in 2 sentences what their ICP looks like today? Just describe your ICP to us today. Actually, 2 people. Or I can just call name. Okay, Sherry, go ahead.
Okay, so what my ICP looks like, basically, I'm looking for decision makers, CTOs, three major personas, CFOs, the finance people, the tech leads, and the founders. So because we're helping people pay for global services in local currency. So basically, that's what my ICP looks like right now.
All right. Thanks a lot for sharing that. Who else wants to share? Please go ahead.
So my current place of work, my ICP looks like this. Broker owners, that's owners of brokerages, real estate companies. There are managers working within the brokerage, and also broker owners, managers working within the brokerage, as well as those who handle the administrative task, like setting up recruitment calls to hire real estate agents. Yeah.
Okay. So why? Yeah, I can't see the thing, but please go ahead.
Zenith has his hand up. Zenith, do you want to speak?
Yes, please go
I
ahead,
want
Zen.
to talk about my ICP. So my ICP are photographers, creative directors, people that work in the photographers basically, that earn minimum of 250,000 per month, and they live in Nigeria. 21 years to 45 years.
Right. Thank you so much. So you see how you've used geographical segmentation, you've used an income band, you've used occupational. Like, the thing is, you can combine multiple types of segmentation to sort of nail who you want to sell to. The reason it's important, and it's good that we're on this slide, the reason it's important to do this, guys, is because, first of all, you cannot sell to everybody in the market. It's just impossible. For all of the reasons that I think it was Israel that spoke earlier about the challenges around prospecting, right? If we agree that the first step to generating revenue is prospecting and finding people to fill the top of your funnel, remember that funnel that Napa showed, and we cannot sell to everybody, then it makes sense to focus our attention on the people that are most likely to buy, which is your ideal customer profile. Larry had asked a question around, is it wise to use your existing customers or previous customers as a template for moving forward, for defining your new ICP? And I would say that yes, it's wise. It's maybe one of the biggest signs, that a type of persona has been buying from you repeatedly, or has bought from you in the past, is usually a good sign that they will buy again. And so this is why it matters. It helps you figure out and define and agree with your team and yourself where to focus your efforts. It helps your team and you as well figure out that this is, if you have a lot of opportunities, because you will always have opportunities, there's always opportunity cost for whichever decisions that you take, but you have to be able to take those decisions with sort of some information, right? And so even if it's not working, if you're selling to a bunch of people and it's not working, the fact that you have said this is the type of people, just based on information and research and what we've done, these are the types of people that are most likely to buy from you, you will put in the effort and time, to make sure that you close those accounts. But also, when you think about marketing spend and time to prospect, if you're clear that this is who we want to sell to, this is who solves our problem, who our product solves the problem for the most, then you spend more time, you get creative, even if it's not working initially, right? And stick to it and get it done. So this is kind of like lifted from what you've already done. So for those who have not looked at the pre-work, you find this in there as well. And this assumes that you are business to business. So for if there's anybody that is B2C here, Zenith, I know that you are primarily B2C. You can stop me and ask questions if you don't quite understand how to apply this right now. But let's use yes, please go ahead.
Like, I wanted to clarify, I'm actually B2B because my customers are also other businesses that are into photography.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. Which means this works for you. So first thing you want to do is, and let's use any hypothetical product. Use yours as I'm speaking. Just apply this mentally to your company, product, service, business. So think about the industry that your customers are in. Let's say I sell HR software, for instance. It means that I can potentially sell to any industry. Potentially is a key word here. I can potentially sell to any industry that has employees, right? And so we go to the next one. What is the ideal company size that I should be targeting? What is the ideal company size that will be my customer? This is heavily dependent on your product, the size of your sales team, your average order value, the market that you're in, and purchasing power there, the location that you're in as well. Many different things help you decide who I should be selling to. On the product side, I'll give you an example. There are two HR software companies. One of them has built a product that has leave management. It has time and attendance. It has leave and vacation. It has all of these many modules, right? And then there's another one that just lets you pay salaries and give your people pay slips. That's all it does. It just lets you pay salaries and send pay slips to your staff. How should those two companies think of their customers? Can anyone describe, if you were leading either of those companies, pick one of them and tell me which type of customer base you go after? In terms of size, let's just use size of your customer. I'm looking for someone who hasn't spoken since. Love, can you help? Or Stacy, can you help me find somebody who hasn't spoken since and help me direct my question to them?
Okay. Dr. Aisha, do you want to go for it?
I can ask the question again once we find the person.
Dr.
Oh,
Aisha, I want to speak. And then he said this is usually a scary part for me. Okay, do you want to speak, Bukayo?
Does everyone understand the question, first of all? Okay, yeah, so Lion says, ask the question again. Zenith. So the question is, I described two HR software companies, and I said, tell me, if you were in charge of those two companies, which customer base would you go after? The first one has built a product that has time and attendance tracking. It has leave management. It has payroll loans. It has like reports. It has all these bells and whistles. And then there's another company where all they do is that they just help you pay salaries and send pay slips to your team. That's all they do. So when you think of those two different companies, which types of customers, in terms of size of the customer that they go after, number of employees, how would you decide which one?
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. So the for the company that does simple task of paying salaries and then sending pay slips, I would go for companies that are small, SMEs, between 1 to 10 staff strength. And for the other company that does so much more, I'll be looking at bigger companies, 50 staff strength upward and things like that.
Thanks a lot, Larry. Everybody that is doing thumbs up, I don't understand though. You had the chance to say this thing, but you did not say it.
Israel has his hand up. It's like he
Israel,
wants.
please go ahead.
Okay. You said that people that have spoken before, they don't have that opportunity. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak again. Well, if it was left for me, for the ones that has basic of just sending pay slip and salary, I think I'll be targeting all of those remote companies, people that tend to work from home, because they don't usually require monitoring and all of those stuff. So for the other one that has more comprehensive and robust solutions like attendance and all of that, I think basically manufacturing industries that are into serious production take those kind of things seriously. And it's actually been very cumbersome for them, doing things manually or calling names of people that came at so time. Or you even see some people, they coming into the building. I remember when I was still working in the banking sector, I sat there in one of those commercial banks. The resumption time is 10 minutes to 8. You see like 10, 15 people. You'll be seeing 7:59, 7:59, 7:59. So in cases like
Exactly.
that, yeah. So certainly companies like that, if you put a very good value proposition and they see that this will automate some of those processes for them. So I think that will certainly be one of my target markets that I will be showing those value props to. And I have that belief with the right value proposition, with the right content, I'll be able to penetrate into those kind of targets markets. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Israel. Zenith, you take the next question. I want to make sure that we stay on time. So you answer the next question. Or you can type your response actually. Yeah, so you can type your response and we can keep going. But the point here, and I think it's clear to everybody, if company A that's supposed to be targeting remote workers and companies that have between 1 and 10 or 15 employees starts targeting companies with 200 employees, they're going to waste time, they're going to waste money, their team is going, the founders, their technology team, their sales team will just continue to be, frustrated and lose money. And they're going to go to try to raise money and people will say, oh, why can't you close any revenue? But maybe the sales team is actually good at selling, but they're not even able to sell because no one wants to listen to them. None of the types of companies that they're targeting want to listen to them. So let's jump forward. So we've done some of these practice things now. What I want to do at this point is use someone who has completed the thing. Ashayori, if you've completed the document, you can share your screen, or anybody share your screen and we can sort of go through it together and we can all learn together. All right.
I'll do that now. Give me, let me pull it up.
Say that again.
I said, give me a minute, let me pull it up.
Okay, cool. I should have given you a heads up before. But yeah, we're happy to wait a couple seconds.
Okay, can I see my screen?
Yeah, it's coming up. Yep, we can see it now. So you can go from the top and just walk us through what you've done. Yeah, start from the first one. Okay. So persona is IT and IT directors. Do you want to talk us through it? Okay, keep scrolling. I think that we can get to the end and then just provide feedback. Okay. Okay. I can already tell that the problem you solve is you're helping people pay in Naira instead of dollars, right? People who make money in Naira pay bills in Naira, bills that would ordinarily have been paid in dollars. Right. Stress for finance teams, higher operating costs. Question for you here, in this problem impact. Now, so if there's huge stress for finance teams, why are finance managers and CFOs not a good target for you? If you're speaking, we can't hear you, by the way. Your mic is on.
Oh, my mic has been muted.
It
I've
has
been
been.
talking. Sorry. Uh, so like I was saying, we started from CTOs, tech guys, because these are the people who actually use what we sell, the cloud and the workspaces and all of that. So,
Mhm.
and even within the organization, they are the ones who manage what we sell. Because if there's a problem with it, people just refer to IT, ask
Right.
IT for
If
solutions.
my email is
So,
down, you go and talk to IT.
exactly. So they are the ones who understand the technical side of it. So
Mhm.
then they are the ones who know that, okay, they are the ones who face these problems, reduce team productivity, then this is the pain point, higher operational costs and all of that. Then the metrics and KPIs, the budget, the speed of resolving payment issues and user satisfaction scores on IT tools, basically. Then the second
Okay.
persona is the finance guys, the finance manager, CFOs, finance people basically. So these ones
Yeah.
understand the cost saving side of what we do. So they might not understand the technical side as well as
Yep.
the uh, yeah. So usually on our end, the ideal perfect meeting is to have both the CFO and the tech person on the call, but we can target any one of them. So pain
Got it.
point focuses on risk aversion, prefers vendors who simplify complex financial workflows, basically. Then the problem impact, budget overruns, wasted time, strained vendor relationships, and then the metrics and KPIs you have payment processing time, which is quick, all they have to do is a back transfer, accuracy of budget forecast, cost saving achievements, basically. Then
All right.
the third
Let me.
persona,
So sorry, Ashiyori, to jump in here, but I think we should pause here.
okay.
And then just go through the rest of it. But this has been good. Anyone that has done this task to the end would have gotten quite a bit of insights into their ICP and persona as well. So
Okay.
I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and try to complete the rest of this part on time. Thanks a lot, Ashiyori. Okay, so we've
You
done the
are
practice.
welcome.
now let's jump into. So essentially what we're doing by defining, and I see that you have two personas, and it's essentially figuring out more and more, like getting more better at figuring out who is most likely to help us get to a yes within the organizations that we sell to. You figured out now that it's finance and technology. I suspect those two people would then help you convince the CEO to say yes to it, right? And these are some of the types that I started to talk about earlier: behavioral, demographic, psychographic. We've gone through this. All of this is really just theoretical. We've spoken about them in the past. If you're wondering how all of these things like even come about, it's data. And this is where, to your question, your earlier question, I think it was Larry, about does the fact that a type of person has bought from me before mean that that type of person will buy again? The way to get to the answer is to first of all collect data. So you might sell to one bank and then start to chase banks, but that was just a one-off. It was a fluke. Unless you can look back at all of your data and say, actually, this is a trend. And when Paul starts talking about, when we go to Paul's model, you're going to see a bunch of things around data and using it to make good decisions. So I'm going to skip this one as well. Personas, again, just what we went through. The ideal company, but even within the company, the ideal, you can call it job title, you can call it role, you can call it responsibility. And if you narrow down to finance and CFOs, and you can say the ideal CFO. And you might say, if I speak to a CFO and they have a strong dislike for technology, we will just move on. Once you speak to a CFO that is a technophile, then this is good for us. So all of these things come, the more you do it, the more you speak to your customers, the more data points that you collect, and you have to document all of this. And it's still the same thing with the company. And I like how Ashiori sort of talked to us about this person understands the technology, and this is who feels the pain and the impact the most in the company, because if something goes down, it's on their head. This other person understands cost savings. They understand why it's bad for us to pay out money in dollars versus Naira, because we make money in Naira, right? And so this is an example, for instance. This is an example of a persona, or things that go into developing a persona. I have 3 more minutes, so I'm going to let us read. I suspect that you guys can read faster than I can talk. And as we come to the end of this module, feel free to type your questions or raise your hand if you have questions for me. Those questions really help. There's just 4 more slides. I'm going slowly so that people can type their questions in. Right. So the summary of this model is we need to be able to identify customers that our product or service solves a problem for the most, the easiest, and people that would be willing to pay for that because the impact is great. We cannot sell to everybody, and so it becomes awfully important to figure out the best way to spend our energy and all of the other resources that we have as a business, or even as a founder, as an individual. And then this allows you to create the best type of messaging to fit those groups of people. And if it's just one type of person and one group of people, then even better for you, because you can just continue to laser focus on the types of messaging that they want to hear. So yeah, questions, guys? I can come back to the chart now and let's see. Yes, Larry, please go ahead.
Right. Thank you. So maybe I need to provide a little bit of context so that the question does not sound off.
Yep.
I started my business formally just in June. Before then, I've worked only as freelancers. So people who randomly have video jobs to do give it to me. I work with production companies and things like that. But then I got to the point where I wanted to have a structured business and do my own thing. Now, my question is, I understand the fact that the customer persona needs to be built from the data that you have been able to collect. But in my own case, for some of the people or for some of the kind of businesses that I do not actually have existing data for them. How do I handle that?
I have two answers for you. One is research. What you're doing, chances are that first, not even what you're doing, the problem you're solving should be clear to you. And so the first thing you have to do is, of course, hypothesize and say, these are some of the types of people that have this problem, right? And then you can look to confirm that hypothesis. You can do surveys. You can reach out to some of these types of people. But you also have to speak to people in person and try to find out. And there's a course on like consultative selling where you essentially try to figure out the problems that these types of people have around the service, around the product that you're building or the service that you provide, and try to figure out how they're currently solving that problem. Talk to them about how you intend to solve it or how you are solving it, and see what they think. Do they think it's a better way than what they're currently doing? Do they want to even try it out? Right. I think that's what you need to do. You need to do research. My second answer is, if you are up for it, I think that at some point towards the end of the first week in December, I can find 30 to 45 minutes to chat with you about this problem and see if we can find a solution. Free, by the way.
I'm very happy to be in such a session with you. Thank you very much. I'll take you up on that.
All right.
Thank you, Tyos.
Any other questions for me? It looks like that was the only one.